If you see my basket out and my scissors, I am getting ready to harvest. It is actually raining very lightly, but I want to get to these ripe veggies before the critters take their bites out of it. They've been dogging me with my tomatoes, and so you can see them in there. I got some yellow ones, got some more that are getting ready to be ripe. Let me reach in there. I am loving these yellow tomatoes. Oh, that's just a split. I thought maybe the bugs have also been enjoying my tomatoes. And it rained really hard. It rained really hard the other day. Oh, I see one down here in the dirt. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one. That's probably a half-eaten one. And then I also see some green ones and another yellow one half-eaten there. That's my donation. I donate to the wildlife. They can have some and I can have some. I'm gonna pick, let me show you. I'm gonna pick this one right there. So I'm happy. I got 4 tomatoes. Now that one has a little bit of green on it yet. So I might sun him a little bit. Although he feels good, I'm gonna sun him maybe for a day or so on the inside, on my windowsill. Let's see what I got going over here. I'm seeing a red one. Do you guys, oh, it's so hard to see. You guys see that red one right there? It's actually against the ground. I'm gonna, oh, I picked him from the other side. Oh, sorry, I have a nice red one in there. Look at my hand. That is a gardener's hand for sure. Ooh, listen to that bird. He's upset with me. We've had so much rain lately. Look at the begonias. My neighbor's yard, mine, right here on the fence. Just love it. Because we didn't have rain for almost the entire month of June. Now it's raining pretty steadily. We get nice summer storms blowing through. Of course, I always have to check to make sure my garden is okay because some of the winds have been kind of wicked. Oh, look at all these peppers. Oh, I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to pick 2. The 2 small ones I'm going to leave there. So let me put the pepper on this side. And let me grab the other one. This is the fun part. And then, of course, how am I going to use it? Am I going to cut them up and eat the peppers raw with some like ranch dressing, or am I going to cook them? I cooked them last time, all my peppers and tomatoes. I sauteed them with a bunch of other veggies. So, as I look down through here, and I gotta remember to use my chives in my recipes. Sometimes, and look at my onions, my green onions. Also need to use those. Sometimes I forget to come out and harvest. So in looking, there is some almost ripe tomatoes in here. So I'm gonna let those, but I spied an eggplant. Can you guys see it? Oh my goodness, let me get these leaves out. Okay, there it is. I'm going to chop it, but also try to hold my phone at the same time. Maybe I'm going to use my foot as a prop. Oh my goodness, that is tough to cut through. Maybe I should have used my little clippers instead of my kitchen scissors. Oh, it fell. Oh, let me go rescue it. There it is. Oh, got my finger in there. Aha! Look how nice that one is. So happy for that. I prepare eggplants all different ways, but my most favorite way recently is to dice it up and saute it with more veggies. But in the past, I have sliced it, and then you put it in like an egg bath, and then you put it in like breadcrumbs, and then you like fry it. That's the way my mom used to always do, with a little bit of salt. But lately I've been liking it diced up and sauteed, just in some olive oil and butter and a bunch of seasonings along with a bunch of other veggies. Let's keep harvesting. Next up to harvest is my kale. I'm going to chop off a couple pieces, and then things like this is a giant weed. Let me just pull that out. And these are falling off the trees. This thing right there, they all fell off the trees from the storms, and they're just everywhere. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, because kale grows out from the top, so don't cut the top ones or you won't get more leaves. You can see the baby leaves are right there. I'm going to chop it from the bottom. I'm going to take those bottom leaves around both plants, and that's what I'm going to use as my harvest. Here is my kale. Kale can be eaten raw, like chopped up and put into a salad. You can make a kale salad, but I always mix it in with other like arugula and lettuce, anything I have on hand, spinach leaves, anything I have, I just kind of mix it all in. The other favorite way I like to eat the kale is I chop it up, sometimes just a rough chop, and I saute it in with other veggies or by itself just as a side dish. A little bit of butter and olive oil, salt and pepper, maybe even a little garlic in there, you know, either garlic powder, garlic salt, or even the minced garlic. It doesn't matter. I just like a little bit of that. Of course, all of these things need to be washed thoroughly. You can see they're right out of the garden with the dirt. Definitely washing everything before I would, you know, cook them up. My parsley, I kind of had to sacrifice some of it to the caterpillars so that butterflies can continue to thrive. But I think they left a little bit for me. I had harvested earlier in the season from this plant, so I'm glad I got some, and then the caterpillars got to it, and I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to cut off all of these branches that have no leaves so that the plant can just concentrate on growing in the middle here, and I can keep getting fresh parsley. This is actually a celery plant that I had bought celery from the grocery store. I chopped off the base, I grew some roots on it, and then I planted it in the dirt. And these are really tiny and skinny. They'll never be as big as the original, celery plant was, but this is kind of like a regeneration. It's a way of getting free celery, right? So what I do is I still chop these off and then I dice them. They go into salads. I can also throw them in soups. If I'm making a soup and I need some celery, I use it for that. And I also saute, and if I saute it, I use the leaves too. I don't just use the stalk. I chop the whole thing up and I throw it into my veggie sautés. My basket is getting fuller. I just harvested some of the celery. I'm going to be harvesting some mint back over there in a second. This is my mint plant. It is a perennial, and everybody, all my friends and family members have enjoyed getting mint leaves from this plant, and of course it just grows back every year. So I'm going to cut a few stalks off, and then I'm going to brew up some tea and make it a mint tea. I harvested a bunch of stalks off of this mint. Right here they are, and you can't even tell that I cut anything off of it. I'm still building on my pile in my basket here, and I decided I want a little bit of basil too, and maybe even some of the chives. So my basil started to flower, and I chopped off all of those stems. That's what this is here. And then I'm seeing that some of these have like some sort of discoloration to them. I'm not sure if those are going to have any, any flavor or not. But these look really good. So I'm going to chop from this side, and then I'm going to decide what to do with some of these leaves that are discolored. When trimming your basil or harvesting it, you want to look for like the little leaves and cut above them so that it'll continue to grow. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. And I'm like, okay, I see a little pair of little leaves under there, and that'll tell me that I can cut this and it'll continue to grow up for me. I got a handful of basil and it smells so good. Nothing beats fresh basil. So I'm going to harvest some of my chives here and some of my green onion stems. You don't need much because they're so big and thick. I can only pick I'll pick one stem maybe from each plant. That way it'll continue to grow. And this though, I can chop a lot of it off because it's a perennial and it comes back every year for me. I keep it in this pot and I put the pot in my garage because this is Michigan and we have really cold winters. It would completely die off, I believe, if I just left it out. But I put it inside the garage and then I bring it out in the springtime. It starts growing again. Gotta love the perennials. Here's the harvest from the green onions and chives. So these pieces, obviously I can't use those, and I will chop off any of the parts that I can't use. I just chopped it off as one big hunk, and then I sort out what I can and cannot use from it. And then I took 2 of the big stalks of the green onion, and I will be able to get, obviously not use that end of it, chop that off, but I'll be able to use the rest of it. And I just dice it up, throw it in my sautés. Both of these would actually be really good in salads as well. It's a nice little add. It gives you a little bit of extra flavor and that freshness that you're looking for. Love coming out to my little garden and getting a basket full of veggies and herbs. Just when I thought I was done harvesting, look what's in here hiding with my tomatoes. I have 2 peppers, a little one and a big one. I'm gonna pick the big one. Oh, there we go. Nice. Let's put that over here in the basket. Please subscribe to my channel and thank you for watching.